Welcome back to This Week in Agribusiness. Over the past week, a legend in the world of agricultural policy passed away. Dr. Barry Flinchbaugh of Kansas State University was known for teaching classes and speaking all across the country, and he worked with Max quite a bit.
Yeah, Mike, when the news came out the other day that Dr. Barry Flinchbaugh had passed away, I heard from farmers all across the United States after I posted it in the social media. Truly, farmers and ranchers and others, all the way from the Carolinas to California and from Texas up to North Dakota, weighed in on what Dr. Barry Flinchbaugh had meant to them. Some of them had sat in his classroom. Others had been in his audience at one time or another, and they never forgot Dr. Flinchbaugh. I visited with him earlier this year at the Farm Future Summit, and we were talking about the federal budget deficits. I said, nobody really cares about them. Dr. Flinchbaugh said they sure should.
The vast moderates, the vast group of moderates, which is 2/3 of the people at least, it could be explained to them. But our primaries are controlled by wingnuts. And moderates don't vote in the primaries. They don't concern themselves with those kind of things. Then they get ready to vote in the general, and they don't like either candidate. Well, maybe you should have voted in the primary so you had a choice of who the candidates were in the general.
We always talk about those deficits as being something that our grandchildren will have to shoulder someday. Is that a realistic concern?
That's exactly right. The minimum they have to do is service it. And they aren't going to be able to service it at 5% prime. It's going to be 10 or more. Remember, you go back to Paul Volcker, we had 20% interest rates. He did whip inflation, but he broke a lot of us too. That's another thing. You're going to get rapid inflation if we don't get this in order. So, and there's time. I'm not arguing panic. I'm just saying, how come nobody pays any attention to it? Where are my conservative friends? They joined Rip Van Winkle or something.
Yes, he was a colorful character, and many people loved to try to do an imitation of Dr. Barry Flinchbaugh. He used to chew on a cigar on a regular basis, but hadn't had those around for years. Here are 3 quotes that were shared by my friend Mike Wilson, editor at Farm Futures, that were attributed to Barry Flinchbaugh. My grandma said, you don't wash your dirty linen in public. Commodity groups tend to wash their dirty linen in public, and they wonder why they get a bad rap instead of working together and compromising behind the scenes. Yeah, there's some truth to that. He also said, the reason my classes are always full is the word is out the old man cares what happens to me personally. You can't fake that. It's either genuine or not, and the students can smell it. And finally, this quote attributed to Barry, in the end, my legacy really is my former students and the young farmers that I helped. All I want on my headstone is, he cared. What a great legacy. It was the teaching that Dr. Flinchbaugh loved most. Yes, he helped many lawmakers, state and federal, and he counseled corporate executives, but it was the teaching that mattered most. Dr. Flinchbaugh was 78, Mike, when he died the other day in Kansas.
Thank you, Max. I, too, had the chance to share the stage and share the table with Dr. Flinchbaugh several times, and every time, I always left the room a little smarter.